can a dying person still hear? When a dying person begins to transition at the end of life, they often appear to be sleeping more and more. And generally, they become less alert, awake, and responsive. When a dying person is actively dying, this is in the hours to days before death, they are usually in an unconscious or deep sleep state where they stop responding altogether. During both of these phases, families often wonder if their dying loved one can still hear them and if they should continue talking to them. Hi, it's Katie Duncan here with Death Care Coach. I'm a nurse practitioner and an end-of-life coach, and I'm here to help you prepare for the end-of-life journey. For a long time, researchers and we in the end-of-life field believed that hearing was likely the last of our senses to go when a person is dying. Part of this belief came from experiential evidence at the bedside. Many end-of-life providers caring for dying people at their bedside would witness repeated examples over and over again of how the dying person would seem to respond in a positive way to the sound of their loved one's voice. Recently, however, there was a study done that now backs up this long-time belief. A small research study out of the University of British Columbia used EEG recordings to measure the electrical brain activity, comparing healthy people to hospice patients who were conscious to those same hospice patients when they became unresponsive in the last hours to days of life. It is completely normal, by the way, for a dying person to become unconscious and unresponsive in the last hours to days before their death. The data from this study showed that the brain of the dying person could still respond to sound in a very similar way to that of a young, healthy brain, even when the dying person was unconscious and in the last hours of life. Similar findings were also found in a European study which looked at how the brain responded to sound in healthy individuals compared to minimally conscious and unresponsive brain-injured patients. So while this is one small study and more is needed to be done, this is a small amount of evidence that suggests that some people may still be able to hear even in the moments before death. In my personal experience, I have seen too many people respond to sound while they seem to be unconscious that it's convinced me people can likely still hear even in the moments before death. Even without these studies, this collection of repeated experience is evidence to me. And here's why. I have seen an unresponsive, actively dying person wait to die until the last family member came to see them and to say goodbye to them. I've seen a person wait to die until their spouse told them that it was okay to die and told them that they would be okay. I have seen a person wait to die until it was quiet and all of their family had stopped talking and actually left the room altogether. I've seen a dying person seem to make this very intentional hand squeeze when their loved one was talking to them. And yes, hand squeezes can be from reflex as well, but these seemed way more intentional. They seemed more than just a reflex. I've seen people who will blink their eyes open for a few seconds after having been totally unresponsive for days when their loved one is talking to them, almost as if, again, to show that they are hearing them. Even my granddad, in his last minutes of life, when we were all standing around him at his bedside, telling him that we loved him and goodbye and that it was all going to be okay, that we would be okay and that he could die, he suddenly, out of his unconscious and unresponsive state, opened his eyes, sat up slightly in his bed, and reached his arm over toward my grandmother as if he was trying to hug her. He then puckered his lips as if he was trying to kiss her. He made a slight moaning sound as if he was trying to say something, maybe like goodbye or I love you. And my grandmother kissed him, and he laid back down, shut his eyes, and took his last breaths. It was one of the most amazing and unexplainable and honestly sacred moments of my life. Because of all of this, I always, always encourage families to keep talking to their loved one. Even if they don't think they can hear or respond, even if they think their loved one is totally unconscious. Say all the things. Say the thank yous and the I love yous. Make the amends. Say goodbye and give them permission to die. Let them know that they're going to be okay and that you're going to be okay and that they can die when they're ready. The dying person will often wait until they think everyone else is ready for them to die. I hope this information has been helpful for you to understand and better prepare a little more for what to expect at the end of life. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. I will do my best to create more videos to answer your questions. If you'd like to hear more from me, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, where I share more about death, dying, end-of-life care, death doulas, grief, and so much more. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.